We are the Nerd Eternal Network.
Throw off the elder shackles of the mind. Reach into thyself and see the truth revealed. The truth, as truth is seen, will illuminate your soul and heal your wounds. Know who you are first, and be true to yourself. You are my children all, but I would rather shatter you like flawed pottery than have your weakness be that you are but a flawed copy out of my mold. Hello, welcome to Valley by Night. It's our Tuesday night Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. We're brought to you by the Brat Adventure Company and the Nerd Eternal Network. I'll be your storyteller for the evening, Jason. And with me as usual will be Deca playing Blackjack, Eric playing Samuel, Duba playing Alexander, Sarah playing Jolene, and Rap playing Maeve. Now, who remembers what went on last week?
On mute, Jeremy. I almost caught the Brat Pack in doing some shit.
Almost.
Shenanigans.
But you decided, nah, we'll just sneak past the house in my truck.
It almost worked.
You know, if you'd been in the Volkswagen, it probably would have, because the Brat Pack probably isn't familiar with that one.
Yeah.
It's alright.
Is it though?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Probably.
I don't know. I have my doubts.
I stopped them for the night. That's all that matters.
And I believe you and Maeve got the address that it was going on. Whatever sort of little meeting this was.
Yep, that they came with one car and left with two.
Alright. Let's see, but I believe we... No, that's session 14 I'm looking at there. Okay. I pulled up the wrong notes or something. Ah, here we are. Alright, so I believe last week started up with Samuel dealing with the police. After a high-speed chase through the Jones Valley domain. That went over fairly well. They had to have Jolene come in and speak with him in her shot up, burnt car. One detective may have gotten the wrong idea about her and Samuel.
Oh my.
But other than that, yeah, everything seemed the questioning seemed to go fine. There's no obvious masquerade breach, since no one saw the stranger, less natural aspects of the fight.
Green fireballs.
Clearly, it was just fireworks. Somebody was holding a Roman candle.
Clearly.
Just before you left, though, you were notified that the suspect that Samuel had held for the police escaped at the hospital. The way he was tossing people around, they assumed he must have been on some sort of drug.
Because clearly no one's strong enough normally to throw people around like
Right.
that.
Had to be angel dust or bath salts or something.
Florida man. It's the Florida man.
Florida man, yep.
Luckily, he'd been acting very strange even before they got him to the hospital, so...
I mean, that helps out.
So it just kind of all meshed together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the humans tend to go for the simplest explanations whenever they can.
I mean, we're lazy by heart.
Crazy.
Alright, so let's see. That was... We ended last time, it was Friday, March 15th. And I think this was, let's see... And I think y'all wound up with enough time to get home, but not really enough time to do much else that evening.
Well, Alexander spent the entire rest of his evening kind of strengthening the domain's network.
That's right.
So to speak.
Well, it was. We ended the 14th, started the 15th. There was a day gap between there.
Oh yeah, we did go into the...
It was, Jolene had to go hunting because she hit 4 hunger and stigmata, and
That's right, that's right. What did we do? So it was that night... Okay, it was the...
he went. And
It was the
Samuel
Friday that Samuel went and... That's right. The Friday is when Samuel went and made up with Marcy.
Old fancy wine, vinegar.
How would you like vinaigrette sauce?
It was great on that salad I can't eat.
Well, you feed it when you put it on the salad that one of your ghouls is eating, and then you feed off the ghoul. That's how it works.
Very roundabout.
Yeah, well, welcome to Life as a Vampire.
Yeah,
That's how vampire
essentially,
foodies have to do it.
You gotta find them loopholes to still enjoy those flavors.
But yeah, I think maybe it was the Friday that Maeve and Blackjack were patrolling.
It was.
Yeah, it was the same night that Samuel's at Elysium.
Okay.
Because they.
That's right. They were
Sam
exchanging
told
messages.
Samuel.
Okay.
Told Samuel, hey, something about, I can't remember exactly, but it was something like really subtle, like, I don't know. I don't have it written down.
And I believe Alexander also ran across some camera
Video
footage.
Yeah, I ran across some footage of the perpetrators, and I made a copy, gave it to Samuel to take as evidence of the crap going on.
And one particularly odd something you saw was that same van that tried to kidnap Willard and that chased down Jolene. You saw him snatch somebody off the street, but they didn't even bother to pull away before the door opened, and they just shoved him back out.
Yeah, but I say the person like freaked out. They got him in there. Nothing happened for a little bit. Then they like tossed him out, and the person just started walking. Like, wait, where am I at? What happened? Did something happen? There's like some type of mind trick where they wipe the memory.
Yep, as a vampire, that's the first thing you would think of. Hey, that looks like some domination there.
Well, no one willingly just all of a sudden forgets the second they're tossed out of a van.
Yeah.
They would have still been freaking out like, wait, been trying to run or go somewhere to get away. But no, they just casually were just like, hey, what's up? Nothing happened. Let's just have
Looked around like they'd been daydreaming and just suddenly realized, oh, wait, where am I? Oh, okay. There have been days I've been driving home, I'll do that. I'll suddenly realize I'm driving past a particular house and not remember the last half a mile. Well, I hope I wasn't asleep at the wheel.
I didn't hit anybody, did I?
Did I stop at that last stop sign? I must have. I'm still accelerating.
No, remember, that's a stop sign's an acronym. Stomp toe on pedal.
Don't drink and drive, people. Don't drink and drive.
Well, no, don't drink and drive, but I can't tell you how many times I've seen people go through a stop sign and it's like, yep, it's not a stop sign, it's just an acronym. Stomp toe on pedal.
Next time we meet, you're getting throttled. Just so
What?
You don't have to breathe. It'll be fine.
No, no.
You know, unless he's talking out of character.
A social distance throttling. Just gonna get like little like a thing that goes like this.
Oh no, I'll just drive down there. Just
That'll be a long drive for no reason, sock puppet.
Nah, there'd be a reason.
A reason, then he would just stay the night.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm already here, might as well just stay.
Throttle your husband. I'm going to borrow the couch.
I brought pizza.
Pretty much.
All right.
All right. So anyway,
Browse checks.
yes. I always like to know who's getting hungry.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Let me go ahead and throw that out there. See how much I fall into despair.
Woo! Still good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Shizer. Okay. I go up a point. That's fine. I'm only at 2. I can live with that.
All right. Jolene gets hungry. Maeve does not. Blackjack does not. Alexander does, and Samuel does.
Alexander be fine. Like I said, 2 dots. I fed last time to go down back to 1, so
What day is it?
It's the 16th,
Day of the week.
Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be Saturday.
Saturday.
Saturday. Okay. Samuel is going to go tap his herd since he hasn't done that this week,
Okay.
and he's going to alleviate 2 hunger.
Okay, which is what you can get off a person without harming them.
Well, it's the maximum amount I can get for free off my herd anyway,
Oh, okay.
because I
It's
only have a rank 2 herd.
Yes. Oh, one of you lovely nurses, come here. I need to talk to you for just a moment.
We have a performance review.
He has something of a reputation at the hospital.
No, it's more of, in this case, it's he is doing performance reviews.
Mm-hmm. Is that
Yes.
what we're calling it nowadays?
Yep. That is indeed what we're calling it nowadays.
Oh boy.
And guess what? The victim gets a pay raise.
Yep.
A better one.
Is there a couch in your office?
Oh no!
I'm just.
Oh no!
Moving on.
Yep. Moving on.
For hilarity's sake, sure.
No, it's
Now we
a
just
love
gotta,
seat.
now we just gotta figure out, does the nurse have a little bit of thing of necrophilia?
Oh, somebody triggering their X car. We gotta move on.
Jason, you just about choked me on my soda.
Well, Decker was the one doing it. It was either that or he was doing Wakanda Forever. I'm not sure which.
No, this is Wakanda Forever. This is X.
Okay.
Before we get Twitch banned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please, people have done so much worse.
Yeah, but let's not push the envelope.
No, I understand.
I don't know. It's not my channel.
Some people
be-
live here, like Deca.
That's
Exactly.
true. Deca does pretty much live here.
Uh,
All right.
Let me go back to how I was.
So everybody's waking up. Samuel, you have gotten some mail during the day.
Oh, fun.
As soon as you pick it up, you know who it's from. You recognize the handwriting on the front of the front of it.
Ah, my sire.
Indeed. It is telling you to expect him within the next week.
Ooh, okay.
Which, you know, during that month of downtime, he was making arrangements and finishing up stuff he was working on, you know.
Yeah.
Because you had invited him earlier than that. Or before the little month time jump we did.
Yep.
And, you know, you'd gotten Alejandro's permission, you know. Shouldn't be any trouble with the prince. You know, I mean, because you know your sire. He'll show up, he'll present himself, you know, that first night probably. Knowing him, he's probably sent a letter ahead to the prince anyway.
Absolutely, yeah. Knowing him. He still, though, will, once getting receipt of the letter, he will dress up a bit, stop by the Elysium before he goes to work to meet the Seneschal.
Cape or no cape?
No cape.
Uh,
This isn't an official Prince Elysium. This is him visiting.
This is him business casual.
Yeah, this is business casual.
You show up. One of the ghouls opens the door for you. Evening, Doctor.
Good evening. Is the head of the country club available?
No, Miss... Crap, I'm blanking on Marcy's. Pretty sure I gave Marcy a last name? Maybe I didn't.
Oh, okay. Right, the Seneschal doesn't run things out of here, does he?
He is here pretty often,
Okay.
but no, technically the Keeper of Elysium,
Right.
which is Marcy's official title. Her less official title is Harpy, but
Yeah.
But if you were going to get up and just go look somewhere for him, the country club's
Yeah.
close by, and it is somewhere he stays that he's in pretty regularly.
Okay. He'll thank him and say he's here to visit and deliver some news.
No, very good, sir. All right, so you head on in. You're offered a drink. All the usual stuff. You don't see Marcy.
Yeah.
You do, however, see Chad Tucker, who is the Seneschal, in case you don't remember his name.
Yeah.
He is surrounded by some of his staff.
Did I write his name down?
I'm pretty sure I dropped the Seneschal's name at some point.
we've interacted with them before.
Yeah, you've definitely
Yeah, I
interacted
did.
with him.
Yeah. I was sitting there scrolling through my Rolodex going, do I have his name? Yes, I do.
But, I mean, I refer to him by his title probably more often than anything.
Yeah.
Yes, but he is there, and he's talking with some of his staff.
Mm-hmm. He'll wait while the Seneschal is talking.
He sends the last one off, and he turns to you. Clearly, he's noticed you kind of standing off a little ways. Good evening, Doctor. And he steps over to you.
Oh, good evening. Good evening, Seneschal. I had a bit of news to share.
Oh?
Yes, I received word from my sire that he should expect me. He should have me to expect him to be visiting within the week.
Oh, I see.
No,
Okay.
knowing him, he is more than likely sent a letter ahead that should be arriving probably within the next day or two. But I figured, given our customs, I might as well go ahead and inform you.
Oh, of course. The letter may very well have arrived. I have not been to my office to check yet tonight.
It would not surprise me, knowing my sire, if it was already there.
But that should not be. That shouldn't be any issue. He's in good standing, from what I gather, in his city. Did we ever decide where it was your sire was?
Yeah,
England, I know. But
he's in London, I believe. Yeah.
there's not much of anybody in London currently.
Me trying to remember.
I forget where
England.
they went once. Because the Inquisition hit London hard.
Yeah, that's true. Forgot about that. He probably was in London, but then got out.
I forget where most of the survivors wound up. But,
We can just... Well, I know how to remedy that. It's like, well, Truth be told, I haven't had much contact with him since the Inquisition hit London. I know he survived, of course, but I've yet to glean where he went since.
Well, no doubt one of the surrounding cities.
Of course.
The Inquisition doesn't seem to have concentrated as much on the surroundings. It's almost like they knew how important some of the kindred in London were. There were some legends that died there.
Well, if there is one thing that I've learned, it is to never underestimate the ingenuity of the kind. When they really want to set their minds to something, they can be rather inventive.
Yes, things have only gone downhill since they invented fire.
Yes, well, it helps too.
But yes, Doctor, I'll be on the lookout for his letter.
Of course.
Let's see. Is it simply a visit that he's planning, or is he thinking of moving here should the prince allow it?
That I'm not sure. I reached out to him on Alejandro's behalf, as there is apparently something that only my sire has knowledge of. As far as I'm aware, it should only be a visit.
Okay. We don't have to know that in advance. Just curious.
Should he choose to stay, I don't think he'd be a problem. He's very much like me. Amiable, very much a look at both sides of the equation sort of man.
Well, as long as his reputation is as long as he's in good standing with the Camarilla, it should not be an issue. Your clan's been a little short-handed since the Inquisition started anyway, so.
Of course. We all handled it differently.
Indeed, we got off fairly light here, I suppose.
Well, considering it turned into only 2 of us surviving.
Oh, sorry, I should not have. I should not have worded it like that, knowing that your clan took the brunt of the attack.
Yes, we did. I regret that a large number of my clan had to die. But it would be a lie to say that I do not regret the greater freedom I now have within the Camarilla.
Oh. I always pictured you as a bit more of a traditionalist. Thought you might regret the fall of the pyramid.
That's the thing about the pyramid. My sire and I, we were more neutral towards it. They provided us with knowledge, studies, things to keep our minds busy. And we accepted that. It was structured, ordered, things came regularly, and we could expect when things could be done. At the same time, it was also limited. I enjoy the less limited applications of knowledge now. And as the prince has noticed, the Camarilla here within this city has benefited from it.
Oh, this is probably true. You have been very useful. Oh, not just you, your entire clan as well, but especially given their diminished ranks.
Well, I've always considered it as this is my home. It may be land and title granted to me by the prince, but the city is my home nonetheless.
Well, and we are glad to have you here.
What mankind or kindred would not fight for their home to see it safer?
Well said, Doctor. Well said.
Well, as lovely it has been at this meeting, Seneschal, I do have a little bit of work I need to.
Ah, yes, I have a busy night ahead of me as well.
Did you mute yourself? I didn't hear you.
Uh,
I saw your lips moving, but I didn't hear anything.
can you hear me now?
I can now, yeah.
Okay. He's like, yes, I've got a busy night ahead of me as well.
Have a good night, Seneschal.
And you too, Doctor.
Okay, and then he'll go to work, do his performance reviews.
Please have a seat. Now, it seems that I'm sorry, I'll stop.
Things best left to the imagination.
Good night, everybody.
So I'm totally going to have somebody walk in on one of those reviews at some point.
Just roll the dice, see how bad it's going to be. Just yeet.
Samuel's arch nemesis becomes the HR department. No, it wasn't what it looked like.
I promise I was giving a fair review. Don't worry.
They all get one like this. Wait.
Deca out of my head.
Look, it's how we check pulses in England. I'm sorry. Alright. Let's see. Jolene, what are you doing for the day? Or doing as you first get up?
Considering she's back at 3 hunger because my dice hate me, she's
do,
going
they
hunting
do.
again.
You know, Blackjack's bought him some extra cows. They'd be awful easy to catch.
Yeah, but she always gets shit about don't you touch my cows. So
If she hurried, if she headed that way while the sun was still up, she could get there and feed and maybe get gone before he woke up. Be sitting there, hands on the cow, just waiting for the sun to finish setting. And go.
And to be fair, DW, you are right in that respect. The dice don't hate you; they just love blood.
Nope, that could be it.
it's not messy. She's mostly just gonna go for like a raccoon or something. Just something enough, enough to just get her back down to 2.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's 2 successes.
You have said that in the past. That there's a Capri Sun.
She's gonna Capri Sun a couple things.
Okay.
Capri Sun in the woods. Just sitting there.
She starts running back alleys, waiting until she finds a raccoon in a garbage can. Ah!
Honestly, she might be considering. Would she go far enough to get to the woods?
Would she?
Considering everything that's going on.
Well, you know, to be fair, it's not like they were after you, so maybe they don't know about you. You know,
They saw her in the car.
I'm about to say, until you showed up, rescued their victim,
Yeah.
started doing unnatural things.
If you can't make it to the woods, just go to the antique shop. Look at the trash can. Is there a little bandit inside? Yes, Capri Sun it.
Poor little trash pan.
We don't really have food stuff behind the antique store though.
No. You'd have a better chance of finding a raccoon like that or a possum like that in the residential areas with the trash cans.
Yeah, she might wander by because she's staying with Eddie and the other Thin Bloods. So she'll just kind of walk by the dumpster anybody in there?
The dumpster of a 7-Eleven.
There's just a raccoon drinking a slushie. She's like, "Oh, hi, how you doing?"
Oh, you're drinking red? Perfect. This won't look suspicious.
She goes to the 7-Eleven and buys a red slushie, and then goes back behind hunting. That way, if she gets any owner, she just spills some more slushie on there, and it's fine.
Grabs like a slushie and a slice of pizza. You get it as a combo.
Just steps back out on the street, swearing about the caps not fitting right. Be fine.
Yep.
Just take a few quote-unquote fake bites, get a little bit of marinara on you, you're fine.
Yep. She'll probably try and Capri Sun within the city, keeping a very watchful eye on any particular vans, and mostly just trying to stay to well-populated areas.
Well, you see several vans because it's very early evening, so you see lots of vehicles out, including some vans.
So mostly trying to stay towards more populated areas.
Let's see. There's several thin bloods staying with Eddie. I described the 2 rooms he had with basically just sets of bunk beds, kind of barrack setup. They're not full, but there are quite a few. Way more thin bloods crammed in here than
recommended by
Local
fire
and state
codes.
Yes,
laws.
probably. Way more than people would want to live in this place. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I just realized you said way more recommended than fire code. That's a big weakness to vampires.
Yeah, but there's also a bunch of humans around, so they'd have to burn them too. I know they probably don't care, but
There's also werewolves.
a lot of these folks are staying the night in your domain. And then during the day, they run back to whatever part of town they work and usually live in. Kind of keep their day lives the same. For the ones that are day drinkers. And then just kind of retreat back to the relative safety of your domain.
relative.
Yeah.
Safe for now.
There seems to be a few extra that wander in while you've been there. Not to stay, they just kind of wander in and visit for a little bit. Usually it's ones you haven't met before.
Should just kind of keep track of who all's in and out, trying to get names and stuff.
That's pretty easy. I mean, they're all willing to talk to you.
Yeah, she just mostly just keeps track of folks.
One lady seems to be particularly fascinated and a little upset that she missed it by the whole stigmata thing you did the day before.
That's a little creepy and nah.
Well, she starts telling you about various saints that are said to have spotted stigmata.
Oh,
or spouted
sweetheart.
stigmata.
Bless your heart, I ain't no saint.
That's it. Jolene is Joan of Arc.
No.
Saint Jolene.
Patron saint of waffles.
Patron saint of the downtrodden. But she seems to be just a little fascinated with you.
She's gonna be
She starts stories about you, and and then she's talked to poor Willard.
Bless Willard's heart.
And he gave her he told her the lengths you went to protect him.
She's gonna be polite, but then she's gonna get the hell out of the apartment and probably just keep an eyeball on her phone in case any meeting is called. She might go swing by the antique shop just to hide.
Mm-hmm. Well, the lady tells you goodbye. Be safe out there.
That is the plan. Y'all be safe around here.
Yeah, she's like, I'm mostly just going out during the day here lately.
If you have that option, it's probably not a half bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
At least for the foreseeable future.
She's sure you'll get to the bottom of it.
Click.
Well, that's not an unreasonable thing for her to think. This is your domain that something went down
Yeah.
in. You know.
She's still just like, I don't want to be responsible.
Queen Jolene. Jolene the Vampire Queen.
The next arc.
No, Jolene here.
After she diablerizes the prince.
No,
A campaign or two later, we come back and it's all of y'all playing under Queen Jolene's iron fist.
She would be horrible in charge. She's like had retail experience. She would take that or would go right to her head.
Oh yeah, as it does in
Exactly.
retail. As it does in retail.
The city's harpy is now known as the Karen.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no, she's given that title to what is that one?
Jeanette?
lady? Yeah, she gives that title to Jeanette.
So Jeanette would survive you becoming prince of the city. Okay, that's good to
She
know.
cut her hands off, but
Oh god!
They would grow back, I think. Once you heal the
Eventually.
damage, I think. I don't know.
After
Keep
one
doing
night, yeah, they would.
That'd be her
Because
punishment.
even your hair tends to grow back out to like it was when you were dead.
Well, maybe not the entire hand. I know there's one ritual where
if she cauterizes it with fire, would that do anything?
Kill the vampire.
I don't know. We would have to research.
Okay.
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
You know, just in the alternate universe where Jolene becomes, you know, queen of Huntsville.
All Waffle Houses are Elysium.
Yep.
Get your bottom here. Up there.
So anyway, you slip out, you get your raccoon without too much trouble. Let's see.
Cauterizing, which is caused aggravated, the hand would eventually grow back.
That's kind of what I was figuring, but
Shout out
Well,
to
she's just gonna have to
Vancouver
do
by
it every
night.
night. She's just gonna have to do it every night then.
and they've been running theirs game longer than this one, so I won't take their word for it. All right, where was I? Oh yes, you got your raccoon. Poor thing.
It's either that or a human, so
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, you didn't roll well enough to get a human.
yeah.
With 2 successes, that's enough to get an animal, so get you 1 point.
Yep.
Enough to take the edge off.
Yep.
Nope, it's too late, Vancouver. You gave me advice. You're now the expert.
I'm taking it.
Let's see. Let's jump to Maeve.
Ye?
You're awake.
Yes.
And you had upgraded your haven. So instead of just being the basement under an abandoned house, you've now got the house fixed up. And are making an effort to make it look lived in.
Yes.
So you wake up, your dog, whose name I'm blanking
Vincent.
on. Pardon?
Vincent.
Vincent. Vincent's waiting by the door that you actually of the room you actually stay in, or probably the basement door. You probably still sleep underground.
Mm-hmm.
So he hops up, tails at the wagon as you come up.
And she'll go and just scratch at his ears.
Now, does he stay locked in all day, or does he have like a dog door to the back?
There's the dog door to the back.
Okay.
But, like, he knows to stay within the perimeters and not go out. Because, God forbid, he goes and meets somebody else that I'm not around. So.
One of the neighbors has a pretty good, wooden privacy fence up. The other side, they've quickly learned not to get close to the fence because he goes off, and it's a very intimidating bark.
Oh, yeah.
But around you, it's like he's a big puppy.
Oh, yeah. And she's probably gonna go take him walking. And she hasn't been able to do that the past couple of nights.
You have been busy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, get your leash, boy. Get your leash. Runs off, comes back with the log chain.
Yep.
This big spiked collar thing.
She's gonna take him and walk a couple of blocks around. See if she sees anything, notices anything different.
You don't really notice anything out of the ordinary. There's a few people getting home. One of the houses across the street, somebody's just getting out of their car and kind of waves at you,
Maybe it's gonna do that and then, keep it going.
And you don't know their name. It's somebody you recognize from the neighborhood. Even before anybody else knew you were living here.
Yeah.
So you didn't need to feed. So you go for a walk. Yeah, he barks at people if they're on the same sidewalk as him. And Vincent does a lot of normal dog stuff. What's this interesting smell? Is that a dead squirrel? I should roll in it. That sort of thing. But yeah, you do a little walk around the block or whatever. Nothing seems to be out of the ordinary in your little neighborhood. Were you going to work tonight?
Yeah.
It's Saturday.
She usually doesn't get
That's-
weekends off.
That's right. Saturdays would be the busier day.
Yeah.
So you take your boys walk. You start getting ready. You got a couple hours. You got to be there. While you're getting dressed, and getting the dog fed and making sure he's got water, you get a text from Colin. It just says, "Hi May, I'm back in town."
She will text back, alright, I get out of work at this time if you need a place to crash.
Thanks for the offer, but I've got something set up. We should meet up sometime this week, though.
Okay. I have off Tuesday. Or if you want to meet up before then I guess after work tonight.
Tuesday's fine. I'll swing by then.
Okay.
Which you knew he had permission from the prince to use Huntsville as kind of his base of operations while he's doing something here in North Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
But he'd been gone for a week or two.
Yeah.
Let's see. Blackjack.
Oh my god, as soon as you call my name, a small child runs up to me.
Want me to go to somebody else first?
Yes, I will open the Fago for you. Sorry about that.
Oh, sweet.
How may I help you?
Alright. Sun's gone down. Blackjack's gotten up. What's Blackjack doing?
He's tending to his crops, making sure that with his additional resources, he has for sure gotten into some auto irrigation systems now. Looked into a really good one, so that no one really questions why are those plants growing.
Sprinkler system.
Yeah, sprinkler system. So he's worked on that, and he's just double checking to make sure they're up to snuff. And that's the routine he does as he like goes about and makes sure the animals are okay. Goes around and how you doing, Bessie? Do you like the new girls? That one's named Brianna. That one's named. I'm just sticking with B names. I'm gonna call that one B.
Beatrice.
But you're my favorite still.
She looks unconvinced. Or maybe unconcerned, you're not sure.
It's alright, baby girl. And after that, he'll just take his normal routine around the block. He's gonna turn in where the Brat Pack were. He's not gonna go like into the street because that'd probably be foolish going in with like 6 or 7 kindred by himself. But he's gonna see if there's anyone over there, like just to kind of do a like a.
Are you in your
drive-by.
truck or are you in the Volkswagen?
I'm in the Volkswagen.
All right. So you're driving by that house again. That's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
When you drive past it, there's no cars in the driveway.
I'm just gonna speed back around and continue the rest of my patrol the same way.
Okay.
I'll actually drive back to my farm, get my truck, and do my patrol with the truck. Blackjack is
Just
nothing.
wrong.
Blackjack is nothing if not a creature of habit. Have I seen Lynn in the last few days, nights?
She had left town again, I thought, during the skip.
Okay.
She'd hung out with you for a couple weeks.
Man, she's like, you're balling. Goodbye.
You know, well, she was just passing through anyway. Kind of swung over this way to check up on you.
Mm-hmm.
She had at some point gotten a chance to meet everybody in the coterie.
Better or worse?
So yeah, so she shows up again. Everybody will have met her in passing at least.
Mm-hmm.
Even if Samuel's not real happy.
He can die mad about it.
Well, maybe you didn't know better, but she should have known better.
It's funny how
Probably
that
just letting
works.
him get in trouble.
It's funny how that works.
Mm-hmm. But so yeah, you patrol. Nothing seems to be particularly odd going on.
No Brat Pack sightings or nothing.
No.
Okay.
Though with the increased security in the domain, you have probably got, I don't know if you'd say cameras or people. I'm not exactly sure how Alexander's network works, but
I think we did a combination of both.
probably.
It's a combination of both.
But
Both cameras
you have
and-
increased the chances that as soon as they enter your domain, you'd be notified.
Mm.
Assuming they came in on one of the main roads that they usually use anyway.
We kind of said like the thin bloods that were hanging out in our domain.
Oh, that's right,
We'll
yeah.
also be adding into that since we're letting them stay here. They just need to keep an eyeball out for anything fishy.
Help each other
Like
out.
this car. It's full of
Full of a bunch of
a-holes.
photos.
Let us know when they show up.
Shoot them.
Do you see these bastards?
They shoot green fire, so be careful.
Shoot
Well, no,
them.
that's not the Brat Pack.
No, yeah.
That we know.
Not the
As far as
That you
far as
know
we
of.
That we know of, yeah.
Nobody in the Brat Pack that you
just-
know of can work magic.
I'm just sitting here going, if the real order really is to shoot them, I'm just imagining the Brat Pack just driving by sometimes sort of like down the road, just have to run the gauntlet to get back home.
Oh, good.
That won't get us in trouble at all with anybody. I'm sure it'll be fine.
It's fine.
Nah,
It's like these mortals just opened up with handguns, and then one of them drank something out of a perfume bottle, ran up and flipped our car over.
Just shoulder checked it, like.
Learned this from some weird ass
Oh
farmer.
man! If I ever play vampire, I'm going to have to build a thin blood with a potion that gives him potence with that leaping ability. So I really would have gummy berry
Soaring
juice.
leap.
Oh my god, why didn't I think of that?
Boing.
Because I don't know soaring.
I mean, it completely shatters the kind of the theme of the game or the vibe you should go for with a vampire game, but I'd do
When
it.
have we been going with the vibe of
We
vampire?
really
in
haven't
this
been.
game?
Yeah,
I'm
fair
totally
enough,
here
fair enough.
for it.
Of course,
Yeah,
if
I mean,
if he was a thin blood created by a Malkavian, it would almost make sense.
Yeah.
It's like borderline fourth wall breaking with Malkavians.
Oh, and if it's young, if they're a young enough, former human, they would have watched that show.
Yeah, they just have to have been a
Yeah.
kid during the 80s.
Yeah.
Really, even later
So
than that,
most-
if you had like Disney Channel or something. I mean, reruns of the 90s.
Yeah. It'll be
Uh,
fine.
Sure, it will. But anyway, you get no notifications of anybody intruding on your domain.
Okay. I will text the group chat. All clear. Just call me if you need me. And then
On the
I will.
group chat text. Are we having a party tonight or anything?
I just want to say before we continue, that light is not as bad as you made it out to be.
Do you have like a angelic halo?
Yeah, you
glow?
have the angelic effect
Mhm.
going on, but it's not as bad as you made it out to be.
Because I've only got one on, there's actually 3
Oh,
potential lights.
Okay, yeah. I can see
That's
with-
the 3 that we had in the living room that we didn't turn on.
Fair enough. Sorry. Just
But
I
yes, the
just
way
had to
you
say
see
that.
it, it is like right behind you, so it's kind of like,
Yep.
who would have thought
Now,
Jesus was
yeah.
nearsighted?
Only if you had really long hair and a really long beard. My cousin did
can't-
that one time. He has like hair to his butt and the beard just as long. One day we were taking a picture, and the way the picture was, my aunt's lamp did a halo effect around him only.
I got a buddy, one of my gaming buddies, that he had an older cousin that had his hair grown out and had a beard. That said, you look just like your classical portraits of Jesus. He was black, but other than that. So I guess the classical portrait, depending on whose house you were. Anyway, went down to Jamaica on vacation. Passed some pothead that just looked at him and went, and then offered him what he said was the best weed on the island. I think I just saw Jesus. Here, have my good weed.
I mean, to be fair,
I mean, if you had it, wouldn't you offer Jesus some of the best thing you've ever had?
Your best
Yeah.
offering.
Just
Amen.
remember, Jesus wants a hug. Oh,
so texting. Are we having a party tonight?
I hope so. I'm looking good.
Won't be able to join until after work. If we are having one.
yes. I'll meet at the usual location.
All right.
Sorry, we have so many tracks we're
Alexander.
considered a train yard. All right,
Alexander,
inside.
you woke up.
Mhm.
Let's see. Were you needing to feed? No, you were only at like 2 or something.
Yeah, I gained like 1 point, so I'm at 2. So I'm
So-
good for now.
So how is Alexander spending the early part of his evening?
Kind of same as always. Flipping on all the systems, taking a gander, looking at anything interesting or out of place. Trying to see if maybe some contacts have helped out in maybe getting just a little dirt on Alejandro, if there's any dirt to be had.
Oh, let's see. What have you found out? You have a message from one of your eyes and ears. Not one that's in the know. He's a conspiracy enthusiast, shall we say.
Okay.
But you've got him helping keep an eye on things in the domain. Early this morning, he spotted a car you had him on the lookout for. The Brat Pack's car. And he caught him coming back down Carl T. Jones, which is that, if you look on the map, is that main road that kind of cuts diagonal through the very middle of your domain. It's the one the big fight was on, the big car chase was on, all that. But they came down that one, got up on Cecil Ashburn, which is the one that goes up and over the mountain and kind of to their domain, So, basically,
Okay,
it's like
yeah.
he spotted him going back home after Deca, or after Blackjack and Maeve had caught him in the domain.
Okay, I mean, he'll get a little notepad, he'll, jot it down.
Yeah, nothing super suspicious about that.
Yeah. At least he'll know what Maeve and Blackjack already know, unless they just want to throw in little extra details for him.
But it was like 4:30 when they cut through, so they were cutting it kind of close getting home before sunrise.
Yeah, they seemed a little desperate to get on back, as late as it was.
Was it both cars or just the Brat Pack car?
Just the Brat Pack car. The contact wouldn't even known to have been looking for the other one, but he doesn't mention it looking like there were two cars traveling together or anything.
Okay.
And when they left your domain, they had left and then cut down to the south, I believe it was.
Okay. He'd write him back saying, "Thank you for your diligence. Continue to let me know if anything comes up. Also, be on the lookout for, give them make and model, license plates. If you see them doing anything suspicious, just drop me a line."
Yeah, he'll keep his eye out for him. Let's see.
Let's
What
go
are
around
what are you providing him? What would he have you keeping an eye out on?
That's a good question. What could it be? Oh, I mean, he's a conspiracy theorist, so I mean, all I need to do is just give him small tidbits of information, just random. Don't have to be accurate. The beautiful thing is, they just love to run with it. So if you just give them a little bit, they'll run.
Any interesting little tidbits? Here lately, he's been wondering about the construction of what was it they were turning that school into in y'all's domain?
Library.
It was a library. That's it. He's curious about any tidbits you come up with about the construction crew, or
Oh yeah, he'll happily throw me a random tidbit about it.
He's a little squirrely about exactly what it is he's looking for, but just he just wants anything you hear about it. He knows you've got your ear to the ground around here.
Oh yeah, he'll happily let him know anything about that. Just say, "Oh yes. Rumor has it might be a library. They're not 100% sure. Why, they could be another new facility for God knows what else."
Oh yeah. He knows it's supposed to be a library, but
What are they building under it, though?
yeah, they dug down awful deep just for the foundation of a library.
Oh, don't worry. I'll see what I'll have my ear to the ground, see what some of the construction workers have to say.
All right, good. Oh yeah. And I need you to keep an eye on this farm.
Oh, really?
Nobody-
Which one would that be?
He drops an address to you. Nobody's ever seen working it during the day. It's adjacent to the Jones Valley, to the Jones family farm. I thought maybe it was connected to them some kind of way. But it's such a piddly small one that I can't see them bothered with it. But I've kept an eye on it, and I thought maybe the neighbors were working it or something, but they're never over there. It's just weird.
All right, I'll keep an ear out and an eye on that as
Right.
well. Don't you worry. I'll get you some information on that farm.
I
I
mean,
think I might have an idea, but I have to work on that hunt first.
okay. There's been some activity there. Some guys installing some stuff. So
Yes. I'll look into that. Don't you?
it's probably nothing, but you can't be too careful. There's a lot of strange
no.
things that are happening in this town.
Oh yes, of course.
Says the rat man. Strange things you don't say.
Really, you don't say when you're typing back to. Well, you don't know it's a rat man, but you're typing to a rat man. So
Not until
on that one.
not until he hacks your camera. We were wrong. It wasn't lizard people.
This is 100% OC. Like, my God, you're a rat. Look, it was a failed experiment. NASA fucked up.
Look, science is
See,
more of an
like,
art than a
Capri
science.
Like right in the middle of Capri sunning a rat, just like
So what creeps me out the most? That it's a rat person, or that it's a rat person eating a rat.
Yeah, no, like hey, I say Alexander would not have any form of visual communication in his area whatsoever.
there'd be so
The
much
most-
tape over the camera.
Right? The most he has is anything for voice. Voice is fine, but he ain't got shit for visual, because God knows he don't want nobody to be able to see him.
I don't want to see this, and I know nobody else wants to see this.
Exactly. No one wants to see the rat man, and the rat man don't want to have anybody see him. So good day. And if anything else, he might see if any of the NOS that's willing to help him out might have seen any information on Alejandro.
Well, it's not that they wouldn't be willing to share information with you. It's that Grandmother Dorcas has everybody keeping their eye out.
Fair. So of course, reporting to me doesn't do no good.
Right. I mean, if they found something, it's not that they wouldn't tell you. It's just they'd have already told her, so that's not going to help you get in better with her.
No.
But let's see, you don't know of any sightings of him in your domain. For a time, you gathered that he was living in the ledges. It basically after the initial attack on the Chantry, when the Second Inquisition burned it and killed off most of the Tremere in the city. That was when him and Samuel both moved to the ledges for the increased security. But Alejandro has, as of a year or two ago, had moved out, and nobody's entirely certain where his personal haven is now.
Fair enough.
Most of the universities in town fall into the domain of the Tremere clan. I think the Tremeres have the library. Well, I say the library, though. I'm thinking about the main branch. But like I said, nobody knows where his haven is. If it's stashed in or around one of those areas, or just in a random neighborhood, or if he's actually living up under one of those places. He's been, well, that's one of the reasons that Grandmother Dorcas is interested in him, is how secretive he's been. I mean, some of it's understandable. The Tremere are always secretive. And, everybody you knew, got burned down in your old place, so.
Fair enough.
Your clan is also unaware of where the current Chantry is.
Okay.
They had figured out where the old one was. But it had been the Chantry for a very long time, so.
Is the university that he teach at have any classes currently? Online, perhaps?
I imagine most of the colleges in Huntsville probably have some online classes.
Answer is yes. They all do.
Well, especially now, but even a year ago, yes, they would all.
Oh yeah, especially now.
But
No, he in my head, Alexander is more curious to get in contact with someone that works with him or is allied with him. He knows he's got Samuel, but again, he's working with Samuel to give him information so that Samuel has a leg up. But can't always 100% rely on him. So gotta have another contact. So thinking, oh, if I get in as a student and mingle with the other students, maybe I can get an idea.
Hello, fellow youths.
Agreed. By the way, you know you have to have a camera for this class. I do apologize. I do not have the funds. Unfortunately, y'all's tuition is outrageous.
You know, for UAH, that's very true. You're not off the mark at all.
I'm sorry. Part of me is trying to think on the go, and I am pulling some of this completely out of thing.
Well, congratulations. You're 100% right.
And I've only traveled up to Huntsville itself once, maybe twice.
Yeah. Excuse me. So yeah, you have no problem signing up for a class at a UAH. Which trying to think if Alejandro would actually have a. I don't think he would actually teach, but UAH is one of the big areas that a lot of the Tremere operated around. A couple of the you wouldn't know that, though. That'd be something Samuel would know. But yeah, if you start getting in with the student body and kind of socializing with them online as an information source about goings on in the college, that'd be a good way to go about it.
Yeah, that'd probably be his next step to learn a little bit more about Alejandro is to sign up as a fellow student.
You know, whatever class you sign up with, you can probably find a Discord where a bunch of them talk, or some way that the students interact with each other.
Okay.
And UAH is the biggest college, so. Now, of course, Calhoun was taken away from the Tremere and given to the Banu Hakim. Something Alejandro is a little bitter about. Not that he had been doing anything with it. It's just the principle of the thing.
An idea to be more thorough in that regard, he'd quickly text Samuel, be like, hate to bother you at this time, but quick question. Do you happen to know of any classes that Alejandro teaches or has good friends that are in about the same field?
I assume I do. More than likely.
Alejandro does not teach any classes at the university. One of his ghouls is a professor there, though.
Okay. We'll say that Alejandro doesn't directly teach anymore. He has retired, but his protege has taken over a class for him, and he'll tell him what that class is.
Excellent. I'll take a look into that one. Thank you.
Yeah, we can figure out what subject it is you're taking a class for at a later date. Given Alejandro's nature, it wouldn't be anything like game design or anything artsy-fartsy. It'd be English or history or a science or something along those lines.
There's a lot of that.
I mean, history's good. It's your friend, and it's something that quote unquote, we should be able to excel at given certain circumstances.
Ooh, comparative religious studies.
You
as
say that, but I
everybody,
did take that class.
I was going to say, as everybody in this particular call just takes a quick second to glance, like thinking, like, wait a minute.
No, that's an actual study.
Fine.
One of my favorite podcasters. That's what he's got. He's got degrees in like philosophy and comparative religions.
I'll say that is a class that I took while I was at UAH. So
It makes him very interesting when he does the Fallout or the Elder Scrolls lorecast, because he can launch into how all the religions they borrowed from, and kind of themes that cross over from real religions into the game and vice versa, or whatever. Sidetracking again. All right. So you spend at least an hour or so filling out paperwork. Now, do you have a mask?
I do.
Okay, so as long as you've got a mask, you shouldn't have any trouble signing up for classes.
As far as I'm aware, where did I document that? Mask, I am zeroed.
Well, you've got a mask zeroed one, and then you've got a mask of 2. That's right, masks you can take multiples of.
no, I think he has a rank 2 mask that is zeroed.
Okay.
So he put 3 points into it.
Okay, I see now.
Oh, I was just trying to make myself zeroed or taking that particular thing. I can throw that point somewhere else then.
No, that's fine.
Well, zeroed is its own thing that adds on to the mask itself.
Oh, okay.
Now, 0 where they can't find anything on you at all.
I need to go and double check that.
It's not super important right now, so we'll just carry on. But
Yeah.
Well, I'll double check it anyway.
Okay.
Someone in high places has purged your real record. You officially don't exist.
Okay, so his real record is gone. There's no computer records of the veterinarian Alexander.
Yeah.
He's got the 2-point mask of whatever identity he's put together for himself.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so with that, with a 2-point mask, you can easily sign up for a college class with nobody flagging anything as weird. All right, so the night progresses. Let's see, were y'all going to have a meeting?
I think after a while, if Blackjack figures that it's quiet, that he'll go back to his farm, change into the Beetle, drive the Beetle to the freaking pawn shop, antique shop.
As you're preparing to leave, a car pulls into your driveway.
I can be prowess.
It's another branch. The way you say that, though, I picture some of the powers from the old City of Heroes game. Like the martial artist had defensive powers, the buff. You'd hit the buff for it, and he'd go into the little...
Yeah. Kind of how I pictured Blackjack.
The hands just come up, he just goes into the Muhammad Ali shuffle.
Yeah. Well, not so much the shuffle. He's just like, one of these is going to knock the crap out of you.
Well, the guy that gets out of the car could probably take it.
Okay.
You can't think of his name off the top of your head, but you recognize one of the sheriff's deputies.
Oh boy.
One of the ones that's his childer. Since they're all childer except for the Nosferatus that work for him.
Sure. So it's another Bruja.
Right.
Evening. How can I help you?
Well, it's not too much trouble. I'd just like a moment of your time.
That's a mighty fine time to do that. I was just about to leave, but I suppose I could spare a moment for one of the... Whatever. What you got? I had something there, but I didn't. Then I didn't.
I just wanted to ask you about the excitement. Let's see, it would have been last night or the night before last.
My notes say nope. 3 or 4 less. Yeah.
You know, that happened. Well, actually, he pretty much gestured behind you because your farm is more or less on the main road.
Yeah, would have been it for last. I mean, most of what I got isn't necessarily firsthand. It wasn't even me who did really anything of import. I just tried to position myself to where I could stop them from moving, but that wasn't much of anything. As far as I could tell, a few hoods who could had various powers, but nothing concrete that tells me this is definitely one of this clan of vampire or any affiliation.
Okay. So it wasn't like any of them were Nosferatu or gargoyles or anything. Any of the.
It's hard to tell. I happen to believe that one of them might have been able to obfuscate, but I'm not 100% on that. Maybe they're just quick as hell. But I tried to round the corner to find him, and he was gone. So either he was invisible or he ran like hell. And quite honestly, in the heat of the moment, I wasn't sure which is which.
Okay. We've heard something about one of them wielding fire.
That's not something I saw, but that is also something I heard.
Well, we've seen the damage. I've seen photos of the damage of the car.
Yeah, it's burned. It's a burn mark. Burn marks happen outside of throwing mystical fireballs. I'm not denying that the fireball did happen, but I'm just saying as far as the Masquerade would go.
Oh, yes, I understand. Thankfully, there didn't seem to be any. We haven't heard any rumors about that, so I don't think any mortals saw it. There were a few calls about a car on fire, something about smoke pouring out of it. That you would have seen.
Yeah, that was. I mean, they also opened fire, so it's only a matter of time if one of those things hit something vital, cause it to smoke up a bit. Maybe smoke up a little too much.
Roll me a manipulation, because you're clearly trying to not lie exactly, but
I'm just going off of what I saw. I don't know that she has that power.
You know that wasn't a little bit of smoke and calls from something, hitting gas. That was a smoke. That was a cloud of mist.
Sure.
Vaping.
Subterfuge. Manipulation subterfuge.
Oh boy.
I'm sure Blackjack is great at that.
Am I able to? So I'm able to rouse the blood for strength, dexterity, stamina. Can I rouse it for the other ones in there too?
As far as I'm aware, rousing the blood lets you put it to anything.
Okay.
I know it could in the old one, so I'm going to assume that's the same in this one.
Sure. Then I will rouse to add a little bit of manipulation to make
All
it
right.
3.
So that'll be 1 check, which should give you a +1, or 1 extra dice.
I'm still at 3.
Okay.
And then subterfuge.
Mm-hmm.
Manipulation. 1. It's a 1. I wouldn't know specifically what's going on with Jolene's vehicle. I would know that maybe something supernatural happened, but it's not something I'm immediately going to be like, oh yeah, she fucking did a fog cloud. Blackjack isn't that smart.
Well, he's not that. It's not that he's not smart enough. It's that he's not that familiar with alchemy.
Right.
She's probably only talked to Samuel about it.
Yeah, you need any detail. I mean, the way you walked up and punched him, he probably knows something's going on.
Yeah, I mean, he knows she can do that.
Yeah.
But she's
she's explained. she's explained how the thin blood alchemy works. As far as he knows, she can throw a punch better.
Hmm. Alright, so the deputy would have a... Alright, how many successes did you get?
1.
Okay.
It's an old shitty car. Come on, man.
I know one thing or two about shitty cars. You know.
He looks at your truck when you say that.
Look, I'm a creature of habit, like most kindred are.
Nah, I'm not judging.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did we
Feels
lose
like-
somebody? Or did he just turn the lights off?
He
He's
just
kinda
just
turned the
went full
lights
nos.
off. He said bio, so he
Activate
just...
NOS mode.
Yeah, he went full NOS mode.
Well, the report was the smoke pouring out the windows.
Oh,
Usually a crappy old car, it's the exhaust pipe.
fair enough. Like I said,
Vents
it
coming
was
through the vents.
it was all like a blur at once, everything going on at one time. So
Yeah, okay. Has anybody in your coterie got any theories on who these individuals could have been?
I don't have an immediate theory as to who it might be. As far as the coterie goes, I haven't spoken to them yet. We was about to convene for the evening, but I have a personal theory. Because last night I saw I was on patrol as I normally am, and I saw a certain group of scoundrel-esque kindred up there to a point in the general direction over there.
Villages?
To where no. The other way.
Oh, the neighborhood where you saw them, not
Yes.
not where they're from. Okay, gotcha.
Not the ledges.
Any idea who they were?
I recognize the Brat Pack when I see him.
He kind of suppress. He tries to suppress a smile when you call him the Brat Pack.
Listen, I call him how I see it.
All right, so the Valley. So he's like the Valley Cove coterie. All right.
Yeah, the Valley Cove Coterie.
Now, he goes. You're aware that this road here is the best route from their domain to anywhere else in Huntsville.
I understand that. I just am doing my due diligence and making sure that we already had a poaching scare. We've had a fucking werewolf scare. I'm just doing my due diligence and making sure.
Were they just driving through, or were they actually stopping and doing something?
They stopped somewhere.
That's interesting.
Ain't it though?
Do you have any evidence of actual poaching?
None at the moment. That's why I'm not touching them, not doing nothing.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm just ensuring that my area is well taken care of.
He takes out a card, writes a number on it. Now, you're aware of how careful we have to be with technology, correct?
I'm not my youthful companions. So yes, I do.
He hands you a card. This is the number to a burner phone that I'm currently using.
Much appreciated.
Once you've convened with the rest of your coterie, if there's any potentially useful information that you can pass along to the sheriff's office, we would appreciate it. Of course, like I said, be discreet.
Naturally.
If you have something, I or one of the other deputies will meet you somewhere, and you can tell us in person.
That's most likely how this is gonna go. I'll just say, hey, can we meet somewhere, and we'll hash it out in person. I'm more of a face-to-face individual. I'm not one for technology unless I have to use it.
Well, I can understand that, man of your age.
Let me ask you something. You were just recently converted, yeah? Converted, embraced, whatever.
It's been a few years, but yes. It was, let's see, it was before the Inquisition really kicked off.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yes, it was just after the majority of our clan turned traitor.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess older would be appropriate in this one particular case.
But yes, any information your coterie comes up with, we appreciate it. We're still running down the van. It'd been reported as stolen, which I think even the police had already mentioned that to Samuel. Nothing suspicious has come back on the original owners of it.
As usual. Whoever's doing this is keeping the nose to the ground as far as this thing goes.
Let's see. Now, had y'all mentioned to anybody outside of the coterie that Thin Bloods had been coming up missing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Jolene had mentioned to Samuel, and that was about it.
Okay.
I think most
I don't
of us.
remember if he had mentioned it to the Harpy.
I think
That's-
most of us are under the impression that anyone outside of this coterie won't give a shit.
No, Samuel did mention it to Marcy.
Okay.
Okay.
He did mention it to her and stated that the reason why he was now getting personally involved was because they went after Jolene. And had, as he put it to her, drawn his ire.
They can go after Thin Bloods. Well, they go after my pet Thin Blood. It's an issue.
Essentially, yeah.
More or less.
So the sheriff, the deputy, will bring that up. We've heard reports that there's been kidnapping attempt, or would he use the term kidnapping? That certain Thin Bloods have been taken. Abduction. That certain Thin Bloods have been abducted.
Do we know they've been abducted, or they just disappeared?
Abducted is the term he uses.
Okay.
All you know for sure is, those Thin Bloods just keep vanishing.
Did Blackjack see the footage that what's his name has?
That Willard-
Where
that Willard
they snatched that Alexander has. Where
we all
they
saw
snatched
that.
they snatched him
Yeah,
from the van.
we
We're all
all
there.
Yeah, I think y'all did meet up
Yeah.
enough to show that.
And
Cool.
I do remember also Samuel did get a copy of. He got a copy. They made a copy of the copy, and then handed that to Marcy to hand to the sheriff.
Okay.
Cool.
So there was that as well.
So you did make sure to get the information out. Okay. Of course, he goes, none of us have much contact with the Thin Bloods.
That through some of your own misgivings about them, or
Well, as I'm sure you've noticed, a lot of the older members of our social circle have some very strong feelings about them.
they're wrong feeling, but
I'm not an especially religious sort myself, though obviously these last 3 years have opened my eyes to a world of possibilities.
were you religious and laugh?
Not really. My grandma took me to church, some when I was little, and I wouldn't say that I didn't believe, but most of my Sundays were spent sleeping in and sleeping hangovers off.
Fair enough. I respect that.
But
I've seen a lot of spiritualities come and go, so most of them just turn to the C word. cults.
Oh, okay. I was like, Christians? The actual C word? Where are we going with this, huh?
Cults.
But now that we've been made aware of this, we'll be keeping our eye out. Not that the sheriff is, the sheriff's not overly concerned about thin bloods. They only kind of half count in our society as being members of our society. But if someone is taking them, well, that can't be a good thing.
Naturally, because if they go on, then who say we ain't next?
They start disappearing as soon as the prince takes an interest and starts investigating that alchemy they can do. Might be a coincidence. Might be
a good look.
Yeah, might be a reaction to.
The heck game?
What you rousing your blood there for, Samuel?
That's a wonderful question. I was looking through some of the stuff on my sheet, and I think I misclicked the rouse button.
Oh, okay, may have.
While I did it, I was sitting there going, "Wait, what? why did I get beat?"
Very angry.
I would say it's in all of our best interests to keep an eye on the thin bloods, because if we can't protect the ones that we consider weaker, even though that's not true sometimes, then it's just gonna break the whole fence apart.
Well, we've got Rogue Tremere throwing fire around.
That's also not good, look.
That's not good either.
So it's best to kill two birds with one stone, as it were.
Mm-hmm. But especially with the Anarchs down in Decatur, we don't know what their makeup is down there. There are some Tremere that went over to the Anarchs after the attack in Vienna.
That's
when the clan kind of broke into their factions.
That's an entire sea away.
Yeah, but their organization fell apart, so I don't know all the details. I just know you've got a couple of different factions that are still loyal to the Camarilla, and just kind of arguing over which one of them should be in charge. That's internal politics. I don't care about it.
Politics tend to be. I really don't give a shit about politics.
But one of the houses apparently has gone Anarch.
Par for the course, I suppose. Weird night to learn.
But if the ones in Decatur have some Tremere that they're sending up here to gather thin bloods,
probably not a good idea.
It's something the sheriff and the prince are very concerned about.
Well, good.
The sheriff is suggesting that we could just, wipe the slate clean, as it were.
That's not going to do any good. They're just going to find more thin blood somewhere else.
Somewhere else is not our problem.
Sure, but they'll do the same thing that they were going to do with us, with those thin bloods anyway.
Yeah, but if they do that up in Nashville or down in Birmingham, again, it's not our problem.
It will be at some point.
As a deputy of this city, I'm only concerned about this city.
All I'm saying is that it would be our problem at some point, regardless of how long it takes.
Yeah, perhaps. But anyway, keep that number.
Of course.
It'll be good for a couple of weeks.
Sure,
I swap out phones pretty regular.
It's pretty smart.
Yeah, the last thing any of us want is the Inquisition taking another hard look at Huntsville. That's really all I needed to talk to you about, Blackjack. But thank you for your time.
Good seeing another Bruja. Yes, I was trying to think of one of the nicknames off the top of my head. I couldn't do it.
Well, they used to be nicknamed Anarchs, but that doesn't really apply. It's not really safe to say to any of them in this town. They take that kind of personal these days.
What'd you call me?
Mother. Anyway, He goes, yes, our clan's kind of thin.
I like to think of it as well spread out, and maybe some point they'll all come back again.
Maybe they'll wise up, but I doubt it. We're a hard-headed bunch once we've made a decision.
Looks back at the farm. Yeah, that's fair.
But anyway, he shakes your hand. You know, he's young enough to still have a lot of that kind of human mannerisms.
I have enough humanity to still have those human mannerisms.
Yeah, I mean it's with you two. It's with the two of you. It's still kind of the habit. You know, it's not an act you're putting on something you really got to think about. It's just kind of just the natural conversation. We've had a friendly conversation. Shake hands, head off.
I'll stop him before he leaves. Let me know if you need some. I've just kind of gotten the habit of it lately, but let me know if you need some, like, want to spa sometime. I like to see what the younger rabble rousers are all about, as it were. I found one, rabble rousers.
He goes, well, I don't rouse much rabbles these days. You know, he pulls out his mirrored shades. I'm kind of Johnny Law.
Yeah, but you still got it in you. I know it.
He just smiles at that, gets in his car, kind of gives you a little salute, and pulls out.
One of these days I'm going to use those 4 points of leadership.
Go beat up the sheriff. I am sheriff now.
Oh God. The AU. Blackjack becomes sheriff. Jolene's the queen.
Got inspiration and I've got leadership, and it's going to shit in this group.
Someday.
What is this? It's okay. And then, yeah, after that, Blackjack was going to be like, running a little late. Had a old friend stop by. Immediately puts everybody on edge.
Had an old friend stop by, showing her Samuel's house.
And then I'll go to the the antiques.
All right, so it's the Primrose something or other.
Yes.
I know I wrote it down. I know I did.
It's the Primrose.
Yeah, evening primrose antiques.
Evening Primrose. Okay. I knew there was another word. Oh, there it is. Right there on the first page I was looking at. You pull in. Bree's behind the counter.
Nice to meet you. Well, see you again. Sorry,
yeah.
I just had to run in with chef's boys. Whatever. Nice to see you, Bree.
Oh, you're not in any trouble, are you?
As far as I know.
All right. They didn't follow you, did they?
No. Are you in trouble?
No, but everybody knows how the sheriff feels about us. So the less contact I have with him or any of his people, the better I like him.
He seems pretty ambivalent towards y'all sorts.
Yeah, it must be one of the younger ones then.
Yeah. We'll be over here. No calls. Unless it's important, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, meeting room set up.
Yeah. So I'm late. The one of the sheriff's boys made a stop.
For?
Just a good. They like coming to me for some reason about the events transpired over the last couple days. Nights.
Well, you are a fellow Brujah. It's not entirely out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah. It might just be my Brujah magnetism. I'm not sure. But
Right.
I told them what I knew.
Well,
Right. Before we begin, Blackjack, a quick
Show.
Would you be opposed as to possibly hiring a thin blood or two to at least look like they work on your farm? Since they can probably walk about during the day and all.
Blackjack actually starts laughing out loud.
Do forgive me. It's just a simple fact of I have a contact, a little bit of a conspiracy theorist that's been doing some looking for me. Keep an eye out on the Rat Pack vehicle, and recently just made sure to inform him about the van and whatnot. Though he is a little skeptical of your farm, considering the fact of he thought it was part of the Jones Valley, but now his words, not mine, that it's such a small, meek little thing in comparison that he wasn't quite sure who did it. Didn't know if it was the neighbors, Jones Valley, wasn't 100% sure. But he sees work being done, but nobody working the farm. So, again, I told him I'd keep an ear out on any of that situation. So, I'm just trying to think of a way to please him, so to speak.
Are we in the business of placating conspiracy theorists now?
Oh, no. Not at all. He's just suspicious of your farm because there doesn't seem to be anyone that ever works it.
Yep, that's
Okay.
suspicious.
So, to say to him, I was just trying to think of something to drum up.
Sure.
Again, keep in mind, I'm just using him right now as a contact. Eyes and ears, as it were.
Of course.
Since we all know conspiracy theorists love to be jittery little things, looking at any small detail that could be suspicious.
Let me give it some thought, and I want particular people though, so I'll be relying on Jolene to show me the good folk.
Of course. Like I said, just a bit of food for thought.
Of course, I'll give it some thought.
Thank
Kind
you.
of attitude I ain't recommending no one to you.
I apologize, Mr. Samuel, as you were.
No, I was about to ask if you had any new information in that upgraded network of yours.
Well, I'm stretching the feelers out. I do have, as it were, my beloved little crackpot of a conspiracy theorist to keep an eye out on any vehicles and whatnot. I give him makes, models, license plates, all that good stuff. Though, oddly enough, I did catch the Rat Pack really kind of get close trying to get back home about 4:30 in the morning. Bless their little cotton socks, I do believe they just about ran out of luck when it came to actually getting home on time.
Maybe they died.
They're leaving our domain that late.
Yes. Heading up the normal street they usually take to get back up on the mountain. At least that's what the cameras showed, and my conspiracy theorist contact seemed to notice as well.
Were you able to find anything else?
Storyteller?
Let's see. Anything? There was one thing I meant to mention that I believe I forgot. Going over that same camera outside the little mom and pop store where you recorded the abduction. Mm-hmm. Around that same time last night, you saw what could well be the same person walking by. It's night. And, it's March, but it's still kind of cool in the evening. Dude still had a hoodie up. But it looked like the same guy. Nothing weird happened. He just walked, It's just that still kind of late at night, and he walks past on the sidewalk.
I mean, he'd look at the footage and be like, other than that, just nothing unusual. Looks like the whole same person that got abducted and was confused, walking by the same mom and pop place, but nothing out of the ordinary that I can see on the radar, sir.
Any more appearances of that van or anything like it?
Unfortunately, not from what I can see. I don't know if they're keeping low or just avoiding anywhere that could potentially have cameras.
I
No
see.
telling.
Well, now you know the police have the van
Huh.
because he shot out the tire,
Well,
and
then we
everybody
gotta be
fled
looking
on
for-
foot. So that's how they know the van was stolen and all that.
Oh, well. Then of course we wouldn't find anything on footage. uh. Okay.
Is he hopped up vampire running around?
What is wrong with that guy, Tiger Blood?
Florida man.
Has there been anything else about that person that the Brat Pack picked up last night?
Well, you never actually saw him pick anybody up.
Well, no, but the extra vehicle.
Oh, you did get the license plates for that, didn't you?
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, Alexander can check his emails. And a police contact here in the domain had run the tags for him. Got back to him. It's registered to a Joshua Drake, whose home address is in Decatur. And you know, you get the precise address and all of it.
He happily just forwards that to Samuel.
So yeah, it's information like you pull up. You know, you managed to pull up his drive, or the guy had managed to pull up his driver's license. It's an older fella. He's like 73. Lived in Decatur most of his life. You know, you got his address and all that jazz. You know, the license, you know, the picture of him, you know, his license picture, all that.
Was the guy they saw in the other car an older guy?
I believe it was a woman wearing a bandana.
Yeah, so different person.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Look up this Joshua Drake. Find out if anyone, maybe in social media, matches the description of the woman in the car. Does the woman in the car, storyteller, match the description of anyone in the Brat Pack?
No, the Brat Pack is all male.
All male, okay. Yeah, that'd probably be...
Y'all didn't get a good look at it, just in profile. You could tell it was, you know,
Yeah.
a woman.
Do what you can to maybe clean up that image we caught on the camera. Might give you a little bit easier time. See what
Yes,
you can
of
find.
course. Of course. He'll scurry over to the little system in the antique shop and start cleaning up and checking stuff.
Okay.
Also, if you have the time afterwards, if you have any feelers out, do keep me informed if Alejandro is seen doing anything out of the ordinary, like leaving the city again.
Will do. And he will quickly type up an email to any contact that he has to keep an eye on Alejandro and ask him to see if he happens to be leaving the city sometime tonight.
And you know what car Alejandro drives, and you probably wouldn't have access to a picture of it, and you probably wouldn't want to pass that around anyway, but kind of a rough description.
No. No, I'd give a rough description, just like this is his vehicle, license plates. If you could keep a lookout for that, see where it goes, or at least give a general good direction if that's all you can do.
And you know, you would probably know by now that the car is actually registered to that ghoul that's still a professor.
Yeah.
So filling with the picture, you play around with the lighting, you know, the brightness and contrast, you know. And then that's the extent of what I know about dealing with pictures. But
Zoom in hats. I mean,
It's not quite how that works. Even in
Not
this
Star
setting.
Trek yet.
Yeah. I was being obnoxious. That might be.
But you fiddle with the colors enough that you're fairly certain the woman is blonde.
Okay.
Which probably reminds you that you've seen a blonde woman with a bandana in the domain before.
The hippie.
Cue dramatic music.
Dun, dun, dun.
Or weird psychedelic music since she's a hippie, I don't know. That's from the
Saw
80s.
noises.
You'll see Alexander just like playing with the last few hairs on his head and just kind of lean back. Blackjack, mate, can I buy you for a moment?
Sure.
He'll like just quickly just throw up on the screen the enhanced version. Like, quick question: does this lovely soul look familiar to you too?
Storyteller, does that look familiar to me?
It's a blonde woman wearing a bandana. That's all the detail you can really make out. It's enough that you sit there and go, it could be the hippie.
Okay, what about Maeve? Since she had a better look that night, really just staring at her at the job, keeping track of her until she walked out the door and she went to make
Well,
sure
again,
nobody
it's
forgot.
not the. Did you get enough look at the actual?
It's the
hippie
picture
woman.
itself.
It's the picture itself. It's taken at night through a car window in motion. You know, it's a traffic camera, so it's a decent camera, but wasn't a great camera.
You can tell it's a blonde person with a bandana. That's
Right.
about it.
Where previously you could not really make out the color of the hair. It's he's adjusted enough now that you're pretty sure it's a blonde. It could definitely be her, but you couldn't say with certainty.
Got any more adjustments in that thing?
You've probably done about all you can do to it.
As unfortunately, there's not much more I can really do, given the camera, it's in motion, and taken at night. This is probably about the best I'm going to get you. But it's hard. Sorry, for a moment I thought maybe it was that particular person you've been seeing in the domain here so late. That's why I figured I'd poke you too with that.
I mean, yeah, it does look a little like her from what little I can see. But, I mean, that's not saying much.
Fair. I don't hold that against you, sir. Let's see. Right. So, we can safely assume that poor Mr. Joshua may have either had his vehicle taken, or he might have met an early demise by some force. Hard to say on that. Rough ballpark estimate.
Perhaps.
I mean, again, the poor bugger is in his 70s. Who knows what conditions he has?
What did his mother look like, maybe?
Do it now?
Could it be like his mother? Some kind of relation to him? I don't know. I'm just
Maybe
shooting
his
some
daughter?
ideas here.
Well,
she's-
You don't know how old she is.
She's dressing like a hippie. She's at least as old as Blackjack.
Maybe older.
do keep in mind, fads, I think that's the word, fads? They do come around in circles, I do believe. So it could just be someone experiencing that hippie vibe all over again. Could be a daughter, could be a grandchild. Not sure. That's it. I'll look up some records, see if he has any kin. There you go.
Or if he's even alive.
Well, that too.
A brief search brings up, as as far as you can tell, there's no obituary or death certificate for him. As far as you know, if he's still living at that address, you wouldn't get any more detail than that without really digging into some records. But his car is not reported as stolen or anything like that. Let's see. He lost his wife a couple of years ago, but he's got a son that lives in Decatur still. So, he lives alone, but he's got a son in town.
It's possible we can look up the son's name and if he has any affiliations with people, such as wife, girlfriend, etc.
Beat his ass if he has warrants.
Oh, his son's name is Gary.
Busey, I knew it.
No, Drake too, of course.
Nah.
Oh, let's see. Records on him. If you dig around or have the police check, there's speeding tickets or parking tickets or, little stuff. Other than that, he appears to be divorced. Kind of shared custody of a child. The wife lives out in the county outside Decatur, so still fairly close by. His address is just a townhouse there in Decatur. Both him and his father live in decent, pretty decent parts of town. Nothing fancy, but.
Unfortunately, nothing really too useful, I'm afraid. Mr. Joshua is still alive. He lost his wife a few years back. Sad to say, though we don't know of her condition, whether or not she be, part of the Masquerade in some shape or form. But another time, I'm afraid. Let's see. His son doesn't live too far. Still in the same city. Divorced. Custody of a child. Wife lives outside the county of Decatur. Other than that, nothing really useful to say that we have a strong female lead of who had the car last, so to speak.
Storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
Any of this triggering a premonition of any kind?
I like that idea. Give me a roll on your premonition. Oh wait, no. If I trigger it, you don't have to roll, right?
Yep. If you trigger it, it's something that I get.
You're staring at the photograph while Alexander's rattling off these details. And suddenly you're very confused.
Mm-hmm.
You're certain that you're standing in your house, but for some reason you feel lost. You can't remember. This is your house, but it's like you can't remember the layout. You start calling for your wife. You can't understand why she's not coming. Then a woman steps into the room. You start getting upset. You don't know this young woman. You don't like that she's in your house. Before you can really say anything to her or beyond just telling her to get out, she walks up and cups, with one hand cups the side of your face. And then everything starts to make sense again. Oh yes, you're in the dining room. Yes, this is your house. You're in your dining room. You have the pain of remembering that your wife, that Grace, is gone. That she's been gone. You look up. You apologize to the woman. You know she's the one that's been staying with you and helping you. Clearly, you've had another episode. You tell her it was a pretty bad one, but you at least take some comfort in knowing that you don't seem to be having the episode as bad as you did before she started staying with you. She asked you, if you're ready for some dinner. And you're pretty sure you missed lunch today, so that's probably a good idea. And then you come out of it, and everybody's kind of sitting around looking at it, because the rest of y'all see Samuel just go completely still. As some of you have probably seen him do before. I forget if your eyes roll back or if there's any outside sign of what's going on.
His eyes, the outside sign of it happening is his eyes go very cloudy, almost like he's gone blind for a second.
So yeah, y'all see his eyes cloud over. Yeah, and when you come to, you've got Blackjack there in your face going,
Blackjack, what are you doing?
I'm making sure you're still with us.
All right, Master Samuel.
Now, Auspex is a tricky path to follow.
Fair enough.
I just witnessed a portion of that man's life.
Go
Oh.
on.
Good or bad?
I do. Blackjack, Maeve, describe that woman you met to me again in as much detail as possible.
I mean, she was a little shorter than me. A lot shorter than me. Most people are shorter than me. About yay high. Blonde hair, bandana. Nice face. Very easy on the eyes. Look like she's straight out the 70s, and as somebody who was born in this, who has lived in the 70s, I have a pretty good idea of what that looks like. Very loose clothing.
all of that fits pretty well with what you've seen. Or what you saw in your vision.
Maeve?
She'll describe her. And how she, she was just walking around, social and everything. So, 'cause off the top of my head, I can't remember the exact details when we were talking about her. But I guess it's the same exact that Blackjack had said anyway. Blonde. Definitely in hippie clothes. So that's why she stood out the most.
Right. Well, I'm not sure if she's from there, but she is certainly a kindred of some kind from Decatur.
Hanging out with Brat Pack.
Because she is staying with that man and dominating him.
Interesting.
Hanging out with the Brat Pack as well. Someone from Decatur.
Yes. That is worrisome.
Oh,
Blackjack, did your surprise visit tonight give you any way to contact him?
yes. As a matter of fact, he did. Like fishes around. Like, I left it here. Pulls up the card. It has a little bit of mud on it at this point.
It's fine. Alexander, get me a copy of all of that information you've just acquired,
Of course.
and make a copy of that copy, of course.
Oh, of course. Always have those. Always have those.
Always a
Blackjack,
triplicate.
Yes.
let your contact know that words need to be had. And if it
Burner,
is
time and
right,
place.
if I come along as well.
I mean, you saw that person clearer than I did, so sure.
Very well.
I text the deputy, time and place.
Oh, let's see.
It's not too late in the night because we all pretty much just hunted and came here.
Yeah.
No, some of y'all had shifts to work.
Oh yeah.
This was after Maeve worked at the club, and after Samuel did his thing at the hospital.
Performance reviews.
And Blackjack did his farm work, did his patrols.
Yeah. Was it probably like, what, 2?
Yeah, it's 2 or 3. Most everything is closed. Trying to think of a good spot to. Oh,
You could always come. Well,
he,
no, not the.
he gives you the address to one of the churches in your domain.
Oh boy. Are you
I'll be
you're really
I'll be
just
here. You know, basically,
Yeah.
I'll be at this address behind the building.
Are you really just Samuel?
Well, I certainly believe there's a reason we are the way we are.
Good, neither am I. Let's go.
Fine.
And time wise, he just told you, as soon as you can get there, he'll
Yeah.
leave for there now.
Maeve, you and Maeve and Jolene both. Keep an ear to the ground. Alexander, keep on your contacts. If you hear anything, the 3 of you, let us know.
Of course.
Also, Jolene,
Uh,
do see if there might be any kind of connection there. The fact that people... It's odd that this starts happening around the same time, potentially, as the Brat Pack meeting with people from Decatur.
it's happening over a month ago.
Yes. It
How
could
long
be
did
that. Could be that we just now noticed with our increased security. Could be nothing, could be something, but better to turn all the rocks.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. And he'll just kind of tussle her hair as he leaves.
Who's a good girl? Who's a good girl?
Yeah, she's rolling her eyes.
That'd lay him flat, probably. Not even gonna lie.
Chug. Hold
Like-
on.
Through the wall, out into the front, smashes up a bunch of the antiques.
I mean, if she hit him with that hit she hit Blackjack with, he'd be in torpor. Like, I'm not even lying. She would knock him directly into torpor.
What in blood alchemy's kind of weird.
Yeah. He'd go from full health to I'm out for a week.
But that'd be the same if a regular old Brewhall walked up and pulled the same stuff on him,
Yeah.
One expects the delicate little thin bloods.
It still happened.
Yeah,
Samuel, you mind if
you
I
would see
take
delicate
a-
thin blood after you wrecked all of Bree's hard work in the shop.
Yeah, Bree would beat the shit
Oh,
out of
flask!
She
And
fears
suddenly she's
Bree.
breathing fire at you, it'd be bad.
her and Bree just going at it.
I say that, I don't think
Samuel,
Bree,
you
I don't
mind
think
if I-
Bree's an alchemist, but
As far as you know.
Yeah, we said she wasn't. She
Yes,
should ask
Blackjack.
Bree.
Samuel, you mind if I take a pit stop at the farm? I gotta let loose a little bit before we go and not lose ourselves to our beast.
You're hungry, I assume.
A little bit, but I can just go run up on Bethany real quick and be done with it.
a farmer that names his animals.
I'm going to leave that alone. Do as you like.
Real quick, go to the farm, flake my 2 hunger off of it, and good to go.
It's a little out of the way, but it's not too bad. Too bad. It takes it does take you 10 to 15 minutes to feed, but other than that,
Yeah.
That's right, good girl. And I'll lick the wound and go.
so everybody's loaded, or y'all two are loaded up in your truck. Or were you in the
Yeah.
Volkswagen going to the antique shop?
I would have been in the
Like I said,
Volkswagen
he
or
was
the
in the
antique shop.
wagon. Yeah.
Yeah, because the truck is relatively well. I mean,
Well
God,
known.
Very well known.
I'd be so bad. I feel so bad for Samuel. Just the simple thought of Blackjack's big old self in there, just trying to drive without crushing.
No. Samuel's on his bike.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
okay. I was about to say
Yeah,
I would feel
no.
so bad for Samuel trying to ride with him and just get slightly crunched because
No, and
Blackjack has no room in
when
that
he-
bug.
when he's riding around the domain to stay kind of inconspicuous, he's in like nice jeans, leather jacket, helmet with the bike.
That guy's still in his overalls.
Because that's very much not the image people think the well-to-do dressed doctor would have.
There's no cape with this, so it can't be him.
Suddenly,
Yeah.
he's the biker bad boy. He puts a little gel in his hair.
Clearly, those people have never seen Dr. House.
Anyway, y'all pull behind the church. The deputy's already there. He's out of the car, leaned up against it, doing something on his phone.
Evening, deputy. You playing Snake on that thing?
Oh no, Tinder. It's great for hunting.
Ah. That's the.
He's not wrong.
I'm not my style.
I know. Evening, deputy.
Doctor, y'all have got some information for me?
Well, we did some digging. We found an image of someone who was with the Brat Pack. Look, is a familiar to Blackjack and Maeve as someone they've seen in passing. That was enough to trigger a premonition of mine.
Oh.
As someone who is dominating a kine and staying in his house in Decatur. The car that she was driving in, plates and all that, is registered to one Joshua Drake, who also lives in Decatur.
He starts taking notes. Okay.
Wife deceased, and he keeps breaking the domination at times, but she keeps reapplying it.
Strong-willed.
Has a son that also stays there. I admit I am rather concerned.
Now the son, I mentioned the son, he lives in Decatur, but that's a separate...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was about to mention that. His son lives in Decatur, separate house, has a wife who... has a significant other that they work and live just slightly out of the city limits. I must admit I am rather concerned that our declared rival coterie is meeting with someone from Decatur inside our domain.
That's odd.
That's
You
pretty
just happen to have a
suspicious.
premonition that would incriminate your rivals. Not that I doubt you, Doctor, but...
Honestly, if anyone has anything to lose for the Brat Pack, they've fucked with me the most.
The Auspex path is not one that we have much, if any, control over.
I understand. I'm just pointing out that this is... What you saw in a vision is not information that we can necessarily act on.
I understand.
Certainly, I will pass it up the chain, and we will probably end up keeping an eye on the Valley Cove coterie.
However, we did bring, and he'll bring the evidence that they made. We do have this.
He takes it.
The vision aside from my premonition, this is everything we did learn, including that the car that was being driven by the woman who followed the Brat Pack is registered to someone from Decatur.
This Drake fellow?
Yes.
Okay, so you have some evidence to correlate to kind of back up what you saw.
It was us putting all this together that triggered that premonition.
I see.
She's look like she's from my time.
The 50s?
70s.
Oh.
I'm not that old, youngling.
No, you were grown in the 70s, which would mean you'd have probably been born at the tail end of the 50s.
I would have been, but you know.
And your picture with the greased back hair.
Samuel just sitting here, just like listening to this, going, "I was born in the 1800s. Get on my level."
Children.
Yeah, basically.
Childer.
No, well, they're not his children, so he can't call. He's not going to call them a childer.
Right.
They're not
But he
his.
can call them children because they're young.
He can absolutely call them children, because he probably has 60 years on them.
I don't know why the deputies like. Why would they be messing around in Huntsville though?
Well,
I mean, they haven't taken firm. They're still fighting over Decatur. You
Well,
think coming
yes.
up here would be biting off more than they'd want to try to chew at one time.
Do we know for sure that they're still fighting over there? That they're not some sort of front?
The few remaining members of the Decatur Primogen, from my understanding, have stayed in pretty good contact with Prince Deschler.
Interesting. Is it like a Masquerade break-in war zone, or is it more subtle than that?
It's a little more subtle than that. There have been a rash of fires and break-ins, and there have been a few gunfights, but nothing long and drawn out. Nothing that couldn't be passed off as gang activity. Decatur's had a problem with that before. So.
How sudden are those fires?
It's been off and on since the Anarchs took out the Prince. Since they made their initial push. Was it 2 years ago?
I mean to say, are they sudden breakouts in buildings that probably shouldn't have lit on fire?
It tends to be. It's been a couple of havens, and a few, from my understanding, a few businesses either owned by the Primogen or that the Primogen have found out the Anarchs were using.
And suddenly we have someone in Huntsville that is brazenly throwing fire around.
Now, I hadn't thought about that. We were just thinking Molotov cocktail. Though these fires were definitely set to, intending to bring the buildings down. There's evidence of arson, evidence of accelerants being used.
The other thought I had, unsubstantiated, no evidence yet, is considering everything happening to the north with the lupine, the thin bloods have been moving a little further south.
Yeah. I've heard that there's a concentration of them here.
Yes, it's sort of a deal we made. They act as sort of a network, and I grant them some leeway.
Yeah, it's your domain.
Yes. Works out well for us both.
I guess having security that can walk around during the day, but it's a little bit stouter than ghouls, I guess. I don't know. Is a half vampire better than a ghoul?
Is a half vampire that can walk around during the day when none of us can.
Well, ghouls can do that, though.
Yes.
But anyway, we're not here to debate the merit of Thin Bloods.
Let's agree to disagree.
But thank you for the information, Doctor. We will definitely put the Valley Cove coterie under observation. This might even be enough the sheriff brings them into questioning. That the tactic we take will be up to him, of course.
Of course. I am curious to see how that will go.
Be a fly on that wall.
It would be nice. However, I doubt that would be anything we'd be allowed, because that could show favoritism, perhaps.
Yeah, the sheriff can put on quite a show during an interrogation, but it's usually just for us.
Of course.
That's unfortunate.
And sometimes the Prince of Primogen.
You'll have to give me the juicy deets at some point.
Nevertheless, I would prefer this be taken. Action be taken as necessary among the higher ups as things go.
Oh yes, if we discover they're working with the Anarchs, we will absolutely.
Yes. Because if this flagrant breach of our Prince given sovereignty over our domain continues, I regretfully might have to take action in order to see that it ceases.
Blackjack's just kind of like this.
Oh
his
yes,
hand.
if they are violating the hospitality of your domain, you are perfectly within your rights
They are walking the line.
to to respond with appropriate force.
Yes. They are towing the line as it is. Despite all of the... I know they have to pass through our domain, and I do not fault them for that. I hold no grudge. No issue. All the times they've stopped to taunt the members of my coterie, and at this point, flagrantly coming very close to violating the laws of hospitality of our domain, I believe I have given them a great deal more leeway and kindness than I should have.
You may have given them rope, and they may be about to hang themselves with it.
Exactly. And if they aren't careful, I'll be the one pulling the lever.
That's fair, Doc.
I don't even have that lever.
I'll leave a Doc.
Was that a movie reference you just made?
Can't legally say yes or no.
Right. Anyway.
Well, that's all
But
you
that
got
is-
for me, Doctor. I will get this to the sheriff right away.
That is. Thank you for your hard work, sir.
Thank you
What's
for your
your name?
assistance.
What's your name, by the way?
I was wondering if y'all were ever going to get around to asking this guy his poor name.
Oh, I was about to.
I
That
did-
one
I
down
did-
there.
I did it for you, buddy.
That one down there beat me to it.
This is the second time I've seen him. I was just a jerk the first time I didn't ask him.
I thought about that as he was trying. He called Blackjack by name. Blackjack never even asked him.
I'll say it would have been on the card, I think.
It would have been. He's not reading the card.
Maybe.
Just had the number.
Excuse me.
Oh, his name is Justin Gregg.
I think Greg. Greg or Grad?
Gragg. Gragg.
Gotcha.
Sadly,
Justin?
I know some people with that last name.
Do what now?
I actually know people with that last name.
Yeah, I got a buddy without his name. It comes from the name McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
But they lopped off some noble's head and the name got banned, so
Mm-hmm.
my buddy can go through a list of names that are all variations, or takeoffs from McGregor.
Yeah.
Well, Justin, it's been a pleasure seeing you twice in one night.
It's been a productive evening. I'm glad to have
been.
made your
We should-
acquaintance.
We should do this more often. And if you happen to want to take me up on that spawn offer, I got you. It just goes like this.
Well, I stay busy most nights, but I'll keep it in mind.
I'm sure you will. You have a good night.
You too.
Good night.
And he gets, stops leaning on his car, steps around, gets in, ooh. You see him swipe right on somebody.
Delicious.
So, Samuel,
Yes.
we're not going to Decatur, are we?
No. That is not a war zone I want to throw you all into.
Oh, good. I really uninterested in going that way.
No.
At least not right now.
Someday
My
I'll drag you into
concern-
Decatur.
My concern is them bringing Decatur to us. The red question has been appearing, which is
It has.
which is a sign of Anarch activity.
Yeah. I saw it on a billboard, or I apparently saw it on a billboard. Or Lynn said she saw it on a billboard or some.
You had heard of it going up, and then yeah, Lynn had seen it when you were driving her around.
Yeah, it was a ride with Lynn.
Right.
Right after we left your house.
I'm hoping that it does not degenerate to violence. I'd prefer to solve things in a more political manner. To quite honestly, utterly destroy them. But
I do like having the capability of doing so, though.
yes, all I'm gonna say is be ready. That toughness of yours will more than likely be necessary.
I don't have to get ready if I'm always ready.
Well, let's hope it does not come to me having to get ready for battle. Because I don't believe that's a side of me you'll really want to see.
Maybe I do. Maybe I do, Doctor.
An old soldier like me.
Yeah. Gotta figure out those World War I routines.
1 and 2, actually.
Or I stand corrected.
A key of Queensberry rules. Old British boxer.
Just picture like a circle of soldiers and he's like bare knuckle boxing in the middle of them.
Or at least that's what you picture. Then he pulls out an M1 Grand and blows a hole through you and the building behind you.
Anyone else? No.
Well, Battlefield, I know how that works.
Perhaps you will.
I like seeing what my fellow coterie members are capable of in combat. It's a curiosity of mine.
Well, do me a favor then. If it comes down to that, try not to run in terror.
About that time, your phone buzzes, Samuel.
1 moment.
You have a
No,
message.
check.
You have a message from Abla. We need to speak soon. Now it's late enough in the evening. Probably not tonight. You know. And then we will cut to Alexander. And probably the rest of y'all are, I'm assuming, still hanging around the antique shop for a little bit.
Yeah, Julian's helping him listen to wiretaps.
Oh yeah, no. But I say
Sitting
while
with
y'all been
popcorn.
talking. Oh yeah, no. Just sitting there watching a decent sized screen, got sets of headphones on, just listening to wiretaps, watching video feeds of any of the cameras just popping up, looking for anything suspicious or something that could be
A traffic
noticed.
camera gives you a hit on the Brat Pack's car.
I know. Julian, I think we found something.
They're right here at the corner of your domain, where Cecil Ashburn crosses Carl T. Jones. You know, their usual route through your domain to anywhere in Huntsville, you know. Much like they did last night, they cut straight across, kind of behind the big shopping center where the movie theater is, the Target, all that.
Yeah.
As you follow their progress, they cut straight across to Whitesburg Drive and head south. Well, if you sit there and just watch them the entire time, that's what they wind up doing. Do y'all stay there and watch them on the camera? Do you try to intersect them in a vehicle? What do y'all do with this information?
They just go through. They don't stop anywhere in the domain.
Like I said, if you sit there and just watch them on the monitors, I should really have asked you what you were doing before I told you they were out. But anyway, Are you just going to watch them on the monitors to see what they're doing? Or are you going to go load up in a car?
Well, the first thing he's going to do is quickly text Samuel and Blackjack in the group chat, just essentially saying,
Our friends are back.
our friends are back and roaming through the area.
Were you saying something? Because I couldn't hear you.
Forgot how to.
We're both muted.
Yeah, I had to clear my throat. Forgot. I'll see the one from Obla and say, agreed, when would you like to meet? And then sees the group chat pop up and...
Well, look at that.
Blackjack says, reading it over his shoulder.
I'm reading on my phone.
And Maeve is just
Oh, that's right, group chat, I'm
gonna
sorry.
fix that and just write brats. After reading, like, seeing how Alexander put it, she just put brats.
He'll reply, just keep an eye on them.
So after getting that from Samuel, Alexander's not moving. He's just going to continue watching feeds and just make sure to get recordings and copies of the recordings of wherever they're going.
What are Maeve and Jolene going to do?
Maeve is gonna look at Jolene and be like, wanna go out for a ride?
Well,
Girl
it's gonna have
trip.
to be your car, cause yeah.
That's fine, they don't know my car anyway. I'm not Blackjack.
Fair.
That's true. Both of y'all's cars are pretty new, so they really wouldn't know either one.
But even if they did, she doesn't follow the Brat Pack. She goes to working and whatever. Like
Yeah.
the time she went to the Elysium stuff, she went in Blackjack's truck.
All right, so y'all load up in your car.
Load up in her car and go
Alright.
and find them.
Before
Stop
y'all
for, like,
go,
a shake on the way back or something.
Alexander's going to let y'all know if there's anything that he notices suspicious that's either ahead of y'all or behind y'all, he'll text you or call and say something.
Just give me a call and let us know, hey, you might want to circle back, you forgot something. Just so
Exactly.
it's nothing suspicious.
All right, so y'all head off.
Just a quick simple thing.
Y'all cut through some roads. Y'all managed to get out behind them on Whitesburg. Oh. Let's see. What would you roll to tell somebody without being noticed? Assuming that you don't want to be noticed.
We
Yeah,
did
don't want to
drive.
be noticed.
We did drive and Wits last time, I think.
Well, that was to like avoid. That was like to do Fast and Furious stuff.
Oh no,
Yeah,
we did it. We
No,
did
because
something.
remember,
Oh yeah.
they stealthed behind them until they parked. Then they just blatantly drove by.
Yeah.
Maybe like composure and drive or something, or
You know, composure would probably have been a better one than wits, truth to tell.
So I'm doing drive composure.
Yeah, give me a drive composure.
A couple of my worst stats. That's fine.
maybe Jolene should have drove.
Maybe.
Oh man.
Yeah, I only have one in drive and two in composure.
I have 1 in drive and 4 in composure. That's her big stat.
No, her big stat is dexterity.
Yeah, she's the brawler.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't suddenly accelerate or anything.
Jolene's gonna kind of try and give advice, like just hang back a little farther. We don't gotta.
You said you want
Yep.
a steak and shake, right?
I mean, on the way back, we can grab a shake or something.
You can grab a shake or something.
So you don't have a problem keeping them in view, except that you keep far enough back that there's a couple of red lights, a couple of times that red lights, they get through the red light and it catches you. So you've lost sight of them by the time they get into Whitesburg, or to the red light that lets them onto Whitesburg. However, Alexander sees them turn south, so you're able to catch back up with them that way. They travel south All the way down to the bridge that marks the southern border of Huntsville. They crossed the Tennessee River. Are you going to follow them out of town?
It's the Jolene. Do you think we should?
What time is it?
At this point, it's probably 3:34.
Let's
Pushing
go
it.
home.
Follow them. You're pushing it.
No,
Go
let's
too
Nah,
far.
I mean, I could sleep in the trunk of my car as you drive.
let's say 3:30 because the Brat Pack would have to take into account the time as well. So yeah, 3:30.
Yeah.
They're leaving this late. Are they not planning on coming back tonight?
I mean, they came back home apparently very late last night.
They came back what, like 4:30 last night?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh, yeah. We know they're going this far.
How long does it take to get to Decatur from Huntsville?
almost 40 minutes.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to Decatur.
Yeah. It's almost 40 minutes to get there from Huntsville.
They're stopping somewhere. They ain't going all the way south.
Mm-hmm.
We know they're doing this repeatedly. We can see about maybe trying to follow them tomorrow. See if they have a pattern.
All right.
We can wait on this road instead of following them out.
Yeah.
So y'all
At least
stop.
we'll let-
So the vampires stop at the running water.
Yes.
Now you see they're up and over the bridge.
I wonder.
And then you realize you pretty much got to go over the bridge so you can turn around and come back the other side. But anyway.
While they're driving, Julian's like, you think we could maybe have Sam. You remember how we got that one guy, Lee, who tracked his car with one of the bloodstones that Samuel makes?
Well,
Do
I
you think
mean,
we
if
could maybe
Sam,
have Sam make one? And
It'll take-
have one of Alexander's Nos buddies put it on the car.
I mean, it'll be a few days before that gets done, if I remember correctly. I think it took Samuel a couple of days for that to get done.
If their pattern keeps up, it might be worth it. Maybe get official
I mean-
permission or something from the sheriff.
Yeah,
That
and
way
have
they
Samuel
can-
make it just in case. When we keep track of them for the next 3 or 4 days, however long it takes, if this is what they're taking.
I mean, I don't know enough about the Brat Pack to know if any of them are magically inclined enough to be looking for that kind of shit.
There's nobody in Clan Tremere in the pack, you know that.
I don't have run-ins with them. Blackjack has the most run-ins, I think, out of all of us with them.
Blackjack has run-ins with everyone, I think.
All because of where he lives.
Decently well liked.
Be worth maybe asking.
Yeah.
I mean, I might ask him for one too, just with everything going on.
Yeah, just in case if something happens and we can't get to you in time, we can at least track you down.
Yeah, at least find my body. That's always handy.
Find you before that happens.
I would also like to say to the storyteller later just something I want to talk to you about
Okay.
after this.
We can do that after camera or whatever.
Let's get heading back. We can get in contact with the boys and everything.
Oh, yeah.
See what
She'll
all.
turn around, head back, stop at Steak and Shake to get Jolene her milkshake.
A milkshake.
She
She's
could
had
have
a rough
it!
Oh
She could
yeah.
have a milkshake!
Right there at the edge of town, y'all would have passed by one of the strip joints. I can't remember which one it's called now. Which would just be somewhere that still had cars at this time of day. That's all I'm thinking
I
of.
have to pass by that damn thing every time I go to visit those chuckleheads.
I drove through the wildlife refugee on the way down, and I was just giggling.
It's forbidden territory. You're not supposed to be there.
I was driving through. It was during the day. It was fine.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine.
It's the wilderness that buffers the area, is the buffer between Huntsville and Decatur.
It was fine. It was all fine. No one saw me do it. Y'all can't prove nothing.
Mm-hmm. Other than this recording.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Next thing you know, she's going to be driving around the arsenal. That's also off limits.
I mean, it's during the day.
Well, I mean, no, you're not.
Not anymore.
I know the security on the arsenal. Not a chance in hell.
I can remember the days when you could take a wrong turn and drive across the arsenal by mistake. Whatever.
I met with some parts with Fort Campbell accidentally, and they got turned around. Nice gentleman.
So anyway, y'all make it back with plenty of time.
We all just meet back up at the antique place.
Y'all have time to quickly meet up and huddle. Bree's gone by this point. She was getting ready to split about the time y'all showed up.
Mm-hmm.
How long it take to make one of them bloodstones?
I guess I'm mentioning it now, storyteller. Well, it traditionally takes 3 days, although with that episode of you nearly getting abducted, I did start working on them that night. So this would be night 2 when I get home. So tomorrow?
Well, think we could probably plant one on the Brat Pack's car if it would do any good.
Certainly, they're magnets, so we'll be able to put it on there easily enough. Hold on. Up to there. Okay.
I mean, how far can you track them?
I know unerringly whatever direction they're in.
I mean, we know they're going north.
I have not run into a limit yet.
Shot.
Could be. And it would last for a week.
Or do we want to do a high-tech kind of way?
Why not both?
I mean, Alexander's got all kinds of fun toys.
Yes, he does.
I mean, if you all could whip something up, myself or one of the other daywalkers could probably see about getting it planted on there. I don't know what kind of security they got on their vehicles, but...
Well, now you know where the domain is. You don't necessarily know where their individual havens are.
Good point.
Unless they're dumb and leave their car parked outside.
Fair. They're snooty enough. They probably have like a garage.
Well, you never know. We've seen that Malkavian drive the car a few times.
And remember, the magnets, they don't have to. You don't have to be very precise in placing. Just inside the wheel hub is good enough.
Nonetheless, that would be something I think you and Alexander would need to hash out.
Can maybe jump out in front of the car.
Let's call that Plan Z.
I'm having no fun.
You can have plenty of fun if it resorts to violence and you hit them hard enough to knock them into torpor.
I'll work on that.
You and... I'll be honest, you and Blackjack's punching proficiency is rather terrible.
Big Cheshire cat grin.
Yes, daughter, I see that grin of yours.
Go get some sleep, old man. I'm gonna go drop by my apartment, grab some things once the sun's up.
Right. Alexander, see what you can do. because that does sound like an interesting idea. At the very least, maybe some incognito reconnaissance.
But it goes.
They might be content enough in the security of their domain that they leave their car out in the open that any camera could see.
The idea.
Check the plates. See if they're just stupid enough to register it.
We do have those.
You have their plates.
Alexander, it seems there's something else you can do.
Of course. I'll
And
make sure that's the
for-
first thing I... That's the
It's
first
for
thing
your
I do when
expertise
I'm-
and mine. I am going to continue to work on that ritual, as well as the other one.
Aren't you just a busy man?
Gonna whip up some more potions. Probably tomorrow.
Well, Blackjack, let's just say that other ritual, you will see the real soldier in me.
Alright, so Jolene is going back to her apartment tonight, or is she waiting for the sun to come up before she's
She's waiting for the sun to come up.
Okay.
She's not going there when
Uh,
there's a chance of.
has she made any attempts to find some place that can work on her car?
Right now, she's just kind of leaving it behind the building, covered in a tarp.
Okay.
She's got it,
She's back to
taking
hitching
it
rides,
back
okay.
there. Yeah, she's back to hitching rides and taking the bus. Basically, like she was, about 2 weeks ago.
It was one glorious session with a car.
Like, it was nice being independently mobile.
Alright.
But hitching rides and public transport means you are in the midst of a whole chunk of folks.
Yeah, but she doesn't
Also,
have to be like,
yeah.
none of you pick me up on the way to Elysium, please.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll probably do that. Pick her up on the way, if need be.
Okay.
Yeah, if
Alright.
she calls anyone to pick up for a ride, she'll be like, she'll say meet me at where I work, because everyone knows where she's worked. She's not gonna do that like to where she's hanging out at Eddie's.
Yeah.
Okay, so night 2 of the ritual commences.
Okay.
I'll have to make a roll for them to start at night 3 next week.
Alright, so next week, when you're making your rouse checks, we'll make a roll for the ritual as well.
Fortunately, it's just a difficulty 2 ritual.
Yeah, it's not a very hard one.
Yeah, it's not.
Alright, then we will wrap here. So you gotta make that check. Obla wants to meet you the next night if possible.
She said urgently, so yeah, he's definitely making time.
That'll be Saturday, so this will be Sunday.
When the clan, whose whole entire thing is justice, says, we gotta talk now. you make time.
Well, you wouldn't necessarily think of them as justice. You think of them as assassins.
Well, yeah.
That reputation isn't changing overnight.
No, it's not.
Though there are a lot of places where they were beginning to take over as the sheriffs and stuff.
Yeah.
With the Brujah kind of moving out.
I think honestly, him like after some of the talks he's had with Obla, he's kind of like puts them as more like almost kind of like vigilantes.
That's fair, because you have been meeting with her for several weeks now. So
Yeah, it's not so much like assassins, and he's aware their whole thing is about they have like this underlying current of justice. So he's just like they're vigilantes basically.
but now they're authorized vigilantes.
Still though, he's like, okay, she's saying urgently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's something happening. If they're going, we need to talk now.
All right, so we will wrap here for the evening. A little bit of plots moving forward. Not a whole lot of action. That might
We'll
be
kill
next
a
week.
werewolf next week.
As we do.
As one does.
Just out of nowhere. The Maeve's truck.
That's it. That's true. I haven't shot up a vehicle in 2 sessions now. It's about.
I know.
I'm just imagining you all just going along. It's like, oh, it's a werewolf in his direwolf form. Maeve's truck just roadkill. What was that?
How did you cast prowess on your car?
Don't ask questions.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's an old style truck. Those things take a hit.
That's true.
All steel construction.
Silver.
I had an old car. That thing was all steel. That was a nice car. I loved that thing.
So anyway, though, we'll be back next week to deal with some of what began developing tonight. I will eventually find a way to drag them to Decatur, or at least Valabusa Springs.
That sounds very specific.
Gee, I wonder
How far away
why.
is that from,
It's just a little spot, a little south of Huntsville. It's not that very far.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tomorrow night. Join us again tomorrow night. Which, let's see.
You should have a truncated version of the session, as far as I know.
Is it going to be a short one? Okay. I was thinking there was
It's gonna be
something going
shorter.
on.
It's going to be a shorter session,
Okay.
and then we don't have session on Thursday.
All right. So short monster of the week tomorrow if things go according to plan. No Descent into Avernus.
No distance in Avernus.
Okay.
Maddie's going to get her henna done for a wedding. Not hers.
as one does.
Yeah, I was pretty sure I would have heard something about it if it had been hers. And then, let's see, done for the weekend. I don't have an icons this weekend. So,
Are you streaming?
probably Monday or Tuesday. Well, probably Monday and Tuesday. Though I've switched from Fallout and Elder Scrolls to, at least this past week, I did Panzer Paladin, which is an old 8-bit, or an 8-bit styled
Jesus,
something.
That is old.
And then today I did Blaster Master Zero. Which
Is
is
it
like
actual
the
thing?
yeah. Well, the Blaster Master was one that I never played it back on the original back on the NES. It was one of the really early titles that I always wanted to try. I never did. By the time I got an NES, I never could find a copy of it. Frankly, they just run better. The Fallout was bogging me down. Anyway, Escorts will be on Monday, and then over on my channel I'll be doing something Monday and Tuesday. Feel like I'm forgetting something, but I can't think of what it is. So we're just going to say join us again next Tuesday for Valley by Night. I was your storyteller for the evening, Jason. And we had Deca playing Blackjack, Eric playing Samuel, Duba playing Alexander, Rap playing Maeve, and Sarah playing Jolene, Queen of the Thin Bloods.
God, what happened?
It's gonna stick. It's gonna stick.
Yes.
And we will see you next time. You don't have to wait. I've already put the credits up.
I don't care.
Sad face.